Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Make sure you hit like and subscribe for more reviews, and let's take a look at Vampire Survivors. So Vampire Survivors, what a title for a game, is the kind of name that strikes fear into the hearts of those expecting quality. This game is developed by console and available on Steam. For around $2 or $3 I bought my copy a couple of months ago, and I have plain signs the game is actually in early access. So just to be clear for future viewers, the review is made around the time of patch 0.4.2, so I wanted to see just what shape early access would take for Vampire Survivors before covering it, but we'll get to that later. As for the game itself, it's a 2D hard survival game that operates as a one-stick shooter, of sorts being largely full of automatic or directionally aimed weapons to obliterate your foes with. Let's get the obvious part out of the way. Yes, the game is simple, yes, it looks simple, it's also one of the best or perhaps most accurately satisfying games of the year, and I'm going to explain why. First off, as always, let's talk about the graphical and audio elements. To Vampire Survivors, the game is presented in a retro style like one of the old great twin-stick shooters. You know, I have spent many happy hours on Smash TV as a kid, so it makes me nostalgic for this style, but even for people inexperienced, their bright, colorful style and well-rendered sprites should be enough to entertain the eyes. In fact, speaking of that, another element to touch upon graphically is the game has an almost trance-like nature at high levels with the amount of weaponry. Firing of the visual effects are simple but clean, and it includes the same sort of hypnotic stare and bass satisfactions. A Thompson-like geometry was thus no audio waste. The game's many sound effects typically get much pretty fast just due to the repetitive nature of the game. And the soundtrack is enjoyable enough and pretty wobbling at times, but again you will hear it so much that it will get turned off before long now. The lore and storyline of Vampire Survivors is rich, immersive, and incredibly complex. You play as the man, woman, panda, or other who may or may not be a vampire, and you will meet a large cast of interesting characters, all of whom will race towards you like a predator missile and deal damage on contact. That's pretty much the premise the game features, a variety of environments and stages you will unlock as you go along, with more being added over time. So as for the gameplay itself, this obviously is where Vampire Survivors gets its hooks. In the first time you start the game, you will wander around the first map, a forest, and the game will largely be reminiscent of Castlevania style as you slowly dispatch enemies and dodge around them. To collect the XP gains, the drop each time you level, a choice of weapons and passive granting items will be offered to you. Those have their own levels and even powerful evolutions upon reaching the right combinations of them. Discovering those evolutions for yourself is seriously satisfying, and some of the effects they grant are widely entertaining and satisfying. To use, I'm gonna let you discover most of them yourself, but I will show one or two in the video. Each level also ramps up difficulty over the course of 13 minutes, and you will have to make it pretty much to the end to complete the stage. What starts as a pleasant bad-bashing walk in the forest will in time descend into the praying mantis nations coming for you, and each level scales in difficulty and instancy pretty well. This forces build experimentations and reactive changes to your plans on the fly when you don't get the items you want, and it really leads to a great sense of emergent gameplay and replayability, as the game has a way of keeping itself fresh. Additionally, the game itself does not only progress while you are in level, there is actually meta progressions aplenty to be found here, which adds a very welcome second layer to the game. There is a vast swatch of collectibles and upgrades to invest into between runs. There is new weapons and items that are unlocked via achievements and will then appear in future runs, and you will also collect more and more playable characters. As the time progresses, there is already a bunch to do, and I have not exhausted It might 20 or so hours in so far, and I cannot wait to see how this grows and grows our early access, because so far it's been built upon really nicely. The unlockable characters are probably the best part of this, as each one comes with a different starting weapon and a different passive buff. Some of those buffs even scale as the level progress while you are in games. It's just the right amount of change. Do not alter the core game to drastically, but provide a fresh experience. With each run you will eventually find your favorite characters and use them to progress him.